could actually be a really close, really exciting affair. So I'm absolutely ready. And Inferno, by the way, last time these two teams played each other, it was 1917. We went overtime, so it's boding pretty well.
Our expectations are high. We've seen a lot from paiN. They've definitely made me a fan after their performance yesterday. They get to kick things off on the T side. A squad that definitely has that explosive nature, but I feel like Extra Salt can match them toe-to-toe. Marky looking for that opener, but HardSell kicks things off with the first kill, and actually, this leaves Sonic with a mountain to climb. He's already gone, and well, so is the A site.
A site has crumbled. OC needs to put down some paiN over on Banana, but he goes the same way, and it's safe with the Glock, who also takes off the head and finishes off Fang. Exquisite start from the Brazilians. Not a single casualty, and the pistol round, so simple and straightforward for them.
Yeah, that wasn't even like it was some sort of setup. That was just their default, holding different angles, waiting for aggression, and they sort of take some mid control and then just kill everyone. Like, they win the battle on Banana, they win the battle in mids. Like, that's going to be the easiest round they probably ever played, because every single duel goes in their direction. Of course, Extra Salt are not going to let them off easy going into their investment round, as they will buy themselves as well 4 Deagles across the board and a scout for JT. The real problem is the utility, and the nade's already done such a ridiculous amount of damage to start.
That should be a reoccurring theme here over on Inferno. But yeah, Safe, one of those big star players we were discussing all through yesterday, and as they're touching on the desk, is one of those players that has been battered down to 29, smashed into oblivion nearly. PKL, though, can be picking up the slack, and with a MAC-10, gets a smoke in the eyes and will have to fade away. So Extra Salt have done a decent job early on with their utility of whittling down and stalling paiN, but they only have 2 smokes left. No kits, no flashes, nothing else. So they're hoping for the best here and crossing their fingers.
Oh, a little bit lucky that didn't do more, especially with the unarmored JT. Banana control, the planned aggression for the side of paiN. Patient as ever, not your typical ESEA advanced team. They are more than happy to do some early damage and just wait it out, try and play with the rotations. And this round, at least, they've got it spot on. Fang has got to go ham.
Yeah, he needs kills, and he needs them quickly, and he won't even get a chance to really shoot off more than 1 shot. He's gone down straight away to PKL. Nekis watching for the flank, and the round falling into position as anticipated, at least with nobody flanking over on A just yet, although there are players heading over in that direction in the form of Nekis with his MAC-10. It could mean that Extra Salt can hold on to these 3 guns, but the round itself is over. That much is sure. Jumping across and trying to fake out a shot from JT. He's not biting down on that, but still misses his chance. And I think with Nekis and additionally HardSell coming in, I'm not too sure they're going to save too many players here. They've already lost the scout, and Marky's gone down as well. Sonic was spotted, can pick up the MAC-10 just behind him, and that affords him and potentially another teammate a chance at something next round, but he's being tracked down and hunted by HardSell, but takes his head off, and that's an AK-47. That's not insignificant. If he can hold on to it, this is a good takeout of the round.
He even continues to fight. I think he was worried he was getting boxed in, but yeah, that's an overface. Like, you know, he only has a Deagle in this round. Send the MAC-10s, fine. Get them hunting, no problem with that. But the second you risk a rifle, that's where paiN are going to end up hurting themselves a little bit here. And the extra money that Sonic has means that he can just stick it out. He can keep the buy in this round. He'll still be able to afford an AWP, maybe drop that over to OC in the next, and can have the chance to do some damage here. Now, other than that, it's just his Deagle that's been handed over to Fang. And the rest will be USPs. But let's see what they can do with it.
I've just been absolutely obliterated. So I don't think there's much really. I think that
nothing.
That narrative has been cut to an abrupt end, as will this round more than likely. But it's not as if we were really expecting a great deal from Extra Salt after losing the pistol. Mate, is OC inside his monitor? Bruh. That is incredibly close. That might be the closest I've ever seen.
I don't know. I think it's the angle. Like, I'm pretty sure like Bondic practically makes out with his monitor when he's playing. So I don't know. He likes to see the light in the eyes of his opponent fade, which I'm pretty sure is something said in Harry Potter. I want to see the light drain from your eyes, and there was angry fans responding to that, going, "Light doesn't drain from your like." Meant to be poetic. Come on, guys. But yeah, he is pretty damn close. I guess maybe he gets that like 0.1 of a second reaction speed of the time it takes for the light of the monitor to reach his eyes. I don't think it works like that. I'm just making up BS, but whatever it is, I'm sure he's got to have some pretty good glasses to almost deny the damage that's being done.
Well, Sonic does have the AWP in his hand as opposed to OC, which is quite interesting. What if even based off spawn? And OC's gone down first. They've went for the bait and switch, and Fang chomps down for 2. Excellent hold from the Mexican over on middle, but Big Azera finally gets his man. So although Extra Salt were off to a good start, it is a 3v2. And considering that paiN have plenty of money in the bank, any extra damage from this point would be nice. That's a bit awkward though, Tom. Dropping the bomb back at spawn effectively isolated the remaining paiN players from each other, having to go back and pick it up. But Safe is still in this round, still with a minute to play with. And we know this guy is more than capable of a bare minimum taking a player or 2 down with him.
We'll see if he can at least make this costly. Him saving this AWP would probably be the ideal scenario, just because you look at the finances and everyone else can buy more than comfortably. Although there's a chance that maybe PKL will either drop him another AWP or a rifle, but they get absolutely nothing. I think the retrieval of the bomb is one thing, but the fact that one player is running back to get the bomb and the other player is running into the site is what confuses me even more. So it's like, you just wait, like, especially with the amount of time they had left. This peek here from Big Azera, what's the point of that? Like, even if he gets the kill, his opponents would be able to rotate fast enough to get back into the site and challenge before they can plant the bomb, and they may have been caught by the rotation. If he waits, maybe he gets the catch on somebody else trying to rotate in. So I think a little bit overzealous. We know that paiN do like to play almost off momentum a lot of the time. We've had Nekis with the interview he had basically saying that they're pumped up, they're ready for this, and I do wonder if that might have played a part in that peak. But either way, they do still have a buy. They did drop a rifle over to Safe as well, so it's not the end of the world. But they have used an awful lot of utility early on to try and garner control of Banana.
Yeah, that's a good point. Only have 2 smokes left. They had a molly. He's already been tossed out. Good flashes, though. Force OC away. He tries to flick down, but can't get it done. And hard showers just straight into the site. The second that OC's picked off, Fang is in all sorts of bother. And now with his life being deemed forfeit, Extra Salt probably have to pull the plug. I don't think they have any interest. They've got more than enough that's worthwhile holding on to. Nekis with a boost over takes down Marky, who was not expecting that at all. And Sonic is still here waiting. At least gets Nekis as a parting gift, but it won't have any bearing on how the round comes down.
I have to say, paiN are probably one of my favorite teams to watch at the moment, even though I haven't seen much of them prior to going into this event. But just the complete change of pace that we saw them almost slow and tactful over the last few rounds, like not really risking anything too much. And then they just go straight into a brute force push, but it has the backup of good utility. Like, they have all the pieces there to, okay, there was no chance for OC. Also, the player on the site couldn't really do too much. Like, he was blind for such a ridiculously long amount of time that you have to bear in mind, he was holding that angle. And in the time that he falls all the way back and ends up in ruins, he's still technically counted as flashed. Like, that is ridiculous. So great work from paiN. Of course, on the other side of things, we do have the AWP saved. JT still having a rifle. And they're going to have a buy in the next round just based off the loss bonus. Extra Salt, again, in a position where they can try and do some damage. But thus far, the anti-ecos have been pretty decent, other than that one loss of an AK-47.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair point to make, that paiN, even though definitely some aspects of being a very aggressive team kind of precedes their reputation, if it were, they're also a team that can slow it down. We saw that yesterday on Dust 2 with a beautifully worked, honestly mastercrafted round on Dust 2. So we know they can slow it down. Their anti-ecos are typically good, but they have already lost one player to the hands of Sonic, albeit with the AWP. Peek out quickly for a bit of information from the Coffin playing Fang. And he'll give that info across to OC, who's up close with the CZ. Has a bit of Kev loss, that aim punch won't be a problem. But if he gets White Swan with no help, he should go down. Indeed, he shall. PKL is the assailant, the victim of OC, now sprawled out onto the site, and smoked off is JT and the rest of the troops, so they can't really deliver any fatal blows or stall this bomb plant any longer. It seems from their positions, though, Tom, that they are definitely interested in at least trying to make a go of this.
Yeah, they could afford to throw a couple of players into the wind here. The only issue is they don't have much utility. JT is already going to pick off one, but the time is halfway ticked. They need to keep going, and they're going to lose 2 players in a matter of seconds. The crossfire's very strong indeed, and Sonic, if they want a double AWP, he needs to save this. And I don't think that's really an option, although he does manage to take one with him. He needs to try and get away from the bomb, and eventually PK will close out all remaining weaponry. Now, they do still technically have enough for a double AWP, Vince, but it's whether or not they want to throw it in so early. We know that both OC and Sonic like to AWP. Again, we talk about the way that Sonic AWPing being fairly aggressive, fairly proactive, and maybe giving a little bit more to OC to find space elsewhere. But again, he's going to be keeping it, so OC yet to see his primary weapon.
Yeah, if this was the T side, it would make a bit more sense. I'm very surprised to see that OC is not interested in picking up on the CT side of things, though. Because typically that's where AWPers are going to, you know, really make their presence felt and presence known. The T side a little bit more awkward. Regardless, though, flashbang is so good. PKL fully flashed, and Fang gets caught juggling weapons. Traded up to the AK, gets pushed through the smoke with a flashbang alongside it, and he's shut down as a result of that. OC, mollies all around him, has to stay in position. Smokes down to afford him safe passage back to the site. He knows how important his life is, as he's the last line of defense over on B.
Sneaky stuff from Nekkis. Bottom back 10, it's not a financial decision. He just wants to try and run and gun and now upgrade straight away to the AWP. Timing from Big Ozera is not fantastic, though, as he's going to get picked off. Hardchow able to trade, but Marky should have this kill, but he doesn't. He gets sprayed down through the smoke. It leaves OC as the last man standing. Now, there is a low player at least, but an afterplant on the A site, I imagine he's just going to save.
Has to, yeah. He hasn't got a single kill yet either. He's got quite a bit of ADR, to be fair to him. Normally at 0 kills, you're expecting somewhere around 20 ADR, so it shows he's been having some impact in terms of damage. He's got 2 assists, but just hasn't really finished anyone off. If he continues to press forward, he may very well get the weakened Hardchow. He's up on the apps area, but it will be 6-1. And now an interesting stat is it seems Hardchow may very well push into him here. But last time they played each other, which was only about a month and a half or so ago, on Inferno, both teams had a much better T performance than their CT side. And by that, I mean 11 rounds. 11 rounds each in regulation they picked up on T sides. So that suggests to me that unless something drastically changes, CT rounds are going to be worth their weight in gold here, Tom. And honestly, the way this game has started is kind of making that same pattern.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's always the aspect of, I never like to almost gamble on the fact that both teams will be able to have this good a T-half, especially when it comes down to like, okay, do you win the pistol? Do you get the extra finances to actually come in with your full buy over on the CT side? If you do, then it could completely change the start to the map. So I don't know. I feel like, at least for now, we definitely need to see more from Extra Salt, because thus far it seems like a lot of their response is either to get aggressive or just to wait patiently. And a lot of the time, paiN are being very proactive, like the risky plays through smokes with a MAC-10 and these sort of pushes where they're catching players as they try and push into mid. Thus far, it has been all paiN.
Yeah, it really has. It's been a 6-1 scoreline that every bit looks a 6-1 scoreline. Tactical timeout has been put in. Extra Salt now coming back in with the AK is saved by OC. And some pistols alongside it. Looking for a 4-1 stack. They're sending over Fang alone on B, where a ton of grenades are already up there. And yeah, this is where I definitely am in unison with you, Tom. I'm a little bit worried as OC at least gets the first pick. So that's an extra rifle that can trade hands. That's pretty significant. I'm a bit concerned that if we have that repeat performance of an 11-4 half or even worse, I feel like the way that paiN have been putting so much time and effort on the server, you have to assume their CT side is going to be significantly better this time around than last.
Well, you'd have to hope so. Otherwise, you might be getting a very, well, I guess two-sided, technically. A game of 2 halves, but one-sided in the way that we'll watch it. And we're going to see the rotation to almost pull in a bit of a stack towards the B site. They've picked up a rifle as well, so Marky now having an extra one to what they already managed to keep. It's not an awful start for Extra Salt. At the same time, again, we're seeing paiN just methodically clearing every single angle they can, leaving no stone unturned. And Sonic, I think he's got the wrong read here. Even with the Molotov, being thrown in. I think they've been faked out. And this is going to make things quite difficult, very reliant on Marky. Although I do wonder if that smoke around the side of Arch has a bit of a gap in it.
Well, Marky, with his lack of armor, has to be a hero. 18 seconds. Maybe time itself could prove to be an issue, but he's backed away, well flashed into the Molotov. That's the sound cue they were looking for. They've cleared him out without any issues. I'm just going to be planting that little bit safer, just to make sure that there's no shenanigans with a wide swing into denying the bomb plant and just win purely off time. So I like that paiN have had that extra bit of care and being very careful on the approach and also respecting Extra Salt. You know, they said themselves in the pre-game interview, Nekis said, we know how good these guys are. You know, they've constantly kind of had our number, and it's our time to take them to grand finals, finally get over that hurdle, get over that curse and break it, and you know, successfully defend our championship. So I really do respect that paiN have had seemingly a resurgence in this very tournament from earlier on, and now showing us what they're truly capable of. Sonic never really had a hope. He was looking to maybe take a couple players with him, but won't be happening, and the 7-1 lead comes to fruition.
Yeah, and the money also continuously growing for paiN. Every single one of these Antica rounds that goes through, sure, they seem to lose at least one weapon. That happens almost every single time, but other than that, yeah, they're keeping it clean. Now, we are going to get the AWP back up again. It seems like on Inferno, it is just going to be sticking in the hands of Sonic, although he hasn't had a massive amount of success so far. It might just be the manner in which he plans on playing it, slightly more aggressive than his counterpart. And the face into middle will come through. Seiko's running through the Molotov. He's still got grenade in his hand. And Marky just peeks through to finish off a double. What is this round from paiN?
You always feel like there's going to be one round like this, Tom, around the corner. Eventually, paiN are going to do something outrageous and it's not going to work out. They're going to look a bit foolish.
Safe didn't die.
Yeah, I'm not sure how. He's on 34. He's still chilling. Teammates around him are dying, though, and Extra Salt have a golden opportunity to finally get not just a round, but to put it down with authority. Build up the money. Take some AKs away from the Brazilian counterparts, but Safe says no. 7 HP remaining now, and his teammate of paiN tries to spray into pit, but is narrowly off by JT. And with that, Safe on 55 seconds. We'll see if he can put down some more players. That flick is sublime through the wall onto Marky's head. It won't be as clear or as convincing as Extra Salt we're hoping for after all.
I'm starting to worry a little bit for them. Even another kill here would be a big worry. That would do extra damage onto their economy. Sure, they have a little bit of extra cash as it is, but that should be it. Yeah, JT in a good position. Will deny Safe. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened in this round. I'll be honest with you. Like, the run through the Molotov's so risky anyway. I assume that they were expecting some sort of second mid peak. That's mainly what that Molotov is used for. But if you're expecting that, why'd you then go through and not get your gun out afterwards? He was just stood there with a grenade in hand, just trying to dodge all the bullets that were thrown, and his teammates almost ended up as cannon fodder to try and keep Safe alive. That was a really peculiar round. Now we're going to see the same Molotov thrown. Instead, they're going to opt to try and push through the one on Banana. And wow, that is Fang completely caught off guard. These rounds have been so aggressive from paiN. You can see now they just fall back into their default. Just waiting. They've got their opener. They're just looking for Extra Salt to make some sort of mistake.
Yeah, it's the same again. It's like Extra Salt take one step forward and several steps backwards. Just when you think they're going to start to open up. As they line up for Marky, nearly gets both of them. Heavy damage onto Nekis, who does have enough resolve to put down the defending mid lane. But now, that puts even more pressure on JT. All alone in pit, 3 Ts moving around. Sees one on Arches, can relay that information to Sonic, who is moving in. And JT gets splattered by paiN. Sonic, at least on the cross, is going to punish Safe. But the bomb has dropped down on the site, and with the smoke across on Library, there's very little that Extra Salt can do about this. Still pushing in together, though. It may feel like they have to start making a go of some of these rounds, that they can't keep conceding time after time after time, but I'm not sure this is the right moment to try and pincer in. I feel like their chances of winning this round are so slim. And interestingly, at the end of the last round as well, Tom, they had an opportunity to pick up Safe's AWP on balcony and save 2 AWPs into it, and they chose not to. So I'm not sure if OC is just not feeling the AWP right now on Inferno, but they've had opportunities to get double ups pretty easily, and they just want to stick with one, and they want to make sure it's in Sonic's hands.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily OC is a bad rifler at all, but I just feel like the way that the game's going, it would kind of make sense. Like just give him the chance to try and do it. Like I get that a lot of teams, if it's not part of your initial plan, will only really pick up a double AWP if they just think, okay, we've got to play our way out of this. But I think just the amount of control that paiN are able to get, as I said, like they took banana control within the first like 10, 15 seconds of the round, get an opener, and then everything else was for free. They had the apartments, they were battling for mid, they get the wraparound into arch, and then the player on the A site screwed. Like, if you have that much control, they just don't stand a single chance. So that's where I want to see extraSalt start denying them, start taking some control themselves, and at least making it difficult for paiN as they did in some of the earlier rounds. This is not difficult, though, at least not for safe. A quick pick already. Again, exactly the same as last round, Vince. 20 seconds gone, and they already have their opener.
It's just looking too easy, isn't it? They're playing into the hands of paiN. Finally, though, Marky does break the shackles, and at range takes out Begazera on the bridge. Nekis tries to make the most of that momentary weakness in apps by pushing down. May catch the timing on Sonic. The smoke out doesn't allow him the luxury of the pick, and I believe he may have got tagged by the smoke as well, so they knew that he was in boiler after that. Well-placed flashbang in the eyes of both of extraSalt, who are looking to get aggressive. Now, they should tread very lightly, because Safe has moved up. He's got that opening angle. If they get peaked, expect him to prosper, but extraSalt have backed away. Two of them on the B site, and it looks like it's going to become a 2v4 pretty soon, unless paiN take a bit more time and allow Marky to rotate.
The time is ticking as well. Fang boosted up, but it seems like he was completely caught by the flashbang, exactly the same as before, just left blind as the push looks to come in. OC, he needs to have a step up. The first kill goes his way. He's still buying time for the rotation, and Marky and OC will do enough. A third round for extraSalt, and actually the money now starts to become an issue just because of how many players paiN have been losing here and there.
Yeah, this is such a great hold by OC, who's been very quiet so far, so good to see him finally explode into the server. Better late than never. 3 super impactful integral kills at the back of the site. It gives extraSalt the opportunity now to try and build up something on this half. Again, going back to those stats, even though it looks pretty grim right now, if extraSalt can close the gap, get a 9-6, even an 8-7 half, considering how good their T side is, I definitely don't think they're out of the game just yet. But that's a big if, Tom. They still need to get to that mantle. And if paiN just instantly bounce back, as they have the last couple of times the extraSalt have picked up around, then we're into a very awkward position again. Now, I don't think that they're going to be able to buy up enough. They've got the Hero AK on Hardshell, some Deagles alongside it. But with a team like paiN, even with this lack of weaponry, they still pose a very big threat.
It's definitely interesting, though, that neither of these teams has won a second round force buy, especially coming off the back of the previous DreamHack when we were watching the likes of Team Spirit seemingly win every second round force buy. It's almost a nice change in sense, but good start. We're already going to see the AWP come through. Sonic with 1. They have finally got that secondary AWP in play, so it took them some time, maybe just waiting till it was necessary to try and catch their opponents off guard. And we are going to have to build up into banana once again. As we've mentioned, so far the flashbangs have been more than solid, and OC getting caught previously from this exact position. This time, though, it seems like there were no flashes. They tried to just dry peek into him, and this time he's ready.
Ready, willing, and able. This is what we've been waiting for with OC. Missing out on that shot on the smoke, but here come the T's pushing in. Behind the smoke's flashes, and there's a molly toss down to Pool. This cordons them off onto the close angles, and Fang's pop flash should be good. They run into him, and he blends them with the AK, saving all 5 players. That's an excellent round for extraSalt, but it was against only 1 AK, and now they have to fend off against a whole bunch more. But this is the boost right off the bat. Excellent work. The AWP's doing so much of the damage, and this is why, again, Tom, we go back to that point about maybe asking a couple of questions as to why the double AWPs didn't come in earlier, because they had multiple opportunities to strike in with them probably 5 or 6 rounds ago.
It's definitely curious. It might just be the opponent, like just how aggressive this paiN team can be, the pace change they can have. Both gonna have an almost equal exchange in the early battle. Marky, he's had a peek or two into mid over the last couple of rounds. Not been having the greatest of success, other than the one round where he managed to spray down a couple of players. OC in a far more aggressive position than we've seen previously. He's avoided the flashbangs, and while the last one may tag him up, it doesn't matter. He's found the kill.
Yeah, excellent shot. While a flash came through, flicking into mid-air. Nekis down to 16. Needs to be very wary because there's still a HE in the hands of JT and Sonic and an incendiary. Ooh, nearly got sprayed through the smoke. Was just a second away from walking into that oncoming barrage of bullets. Now Sonic relocates, watching into Boiler. Player there is Bigazera, and a couple flirting with the idea of pushing into middle. If they pop flash this in, Sonic could be in an awkward position. He's actually going to be walking out, and still gets the kill on Bigazera. He will get traded quickly by Safe, and that opens up some opportunities through on arches. 30 seconds, and Extra Salt have a good idea that the final destination of the bomb will be on A side. Flashbang through, Marky pushes behind it, and his spray is on point. Exquisite work, surgical precision from Marky, and although Nekis is at least put down, OC with 15 seconds and 16 HP to his name, it's looking pretty grim for paiN to pick up round 13. He's a dead man the second he comes through, and JT collects.
It's been a much better couple of rounds from Extra Salt. Been able to hold the line, predict where their opponents are going, and Marky able to step up in this round as well. Again, the finance is now starting to become a bit of an issue for paiN, who don't have much into this round once again. I like the fact that they continue to go heavy into utility, wanting to try and dominate banana control, almost hold back some of the pushes that we've seen from the AWP. But since getting that double AWP in, they've definitely not been able to garner anywhere near as much control as what we saw previously. However, this round, it is going to be a bit of an early fallback, and again, Sonic is tagged down very low.
The luxury of having low HP, though, on the CT side with the AWP is that you can watch these very narrow angles and just fall back instantly and rely more on your teammates. It's going to be B site, though, where all the action comes in. OC's already been flashed off. PKL getting aggressive into the ruins, and Marquee pivots in, bodyguarding the secondary AWP. JT, solid aim, and although Hard Zhao does dink OC instantly, it's just the P250, so there will be no kill behind it. Extra Salt have done an excellent job of coming back into this half, Tom, because honestly, at one point, I thought this was going to be a landslide half.
Yeah, it looked like it could very easily be a stomp, and considering what you mentioned before about both of these teams doing stellar work on the T side, we now have to flip the coin a little bit and go, okay, if this ends as an 8-7, if anything, Extra Salt might go in feeling pretty damn good about how this half has gone, so maybe wanting to see a good finish from paiN. Sonic, as the rounds go by, see the confidence building, going for cheekier and cheekier peaks each time. Mid has been the main battle, and in fact, even the grenades, the utility that's coming out, seems to have done some decent work. Now, they're not going to meet the AWP just yet. He's actually fallen back to the site, and they have used an awful lot of utility in the early stages of this round. paiN doing a decent job to bait out some of it, but I guess by catching it, and now Sonic comes through. Will he get away? No, he has Marky to back him up. A perfect peek, and even gets the side swipe as he leaves. A flawless start to this round.
Yeah, that's excellent by Extra Salt, but I have to query paiN a little bit here. There's no flashes before the peaks into at least one AWP. You know there's two AWPs there, but Extra Salt, they've turned it round after a horrific start. It's 8-7 going into the second half.
I got your love on top. We're in the moment, and maybe that's what we're about. Tell me what you want me to be, baby. I promise I can be the one you're craving. 'Cause I think that I know what you've been chasing. Girl, I'm sick of waiting. I'll be yours for the taking, but I just wanna know, oh, yeah, if we should take just wanna know, oh, 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 yeah, if we should take it slow, oh, 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 yeah. Just wanna know, I just wanna show you, I'd do anything for you, girl. I just wanna know, oh, 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 yeah. I just wanna know, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe it's time to sail away, to pack our bags and sail away. There's an ocean out there shimmering, and I don't see any reason left to stay. The future is unwritten, and the past is nothing but a teacher. There's a shore across the water full of promise, and I know that we can reach her. Maybe it's time to sail away, to pack our bags and sail away. Maybe it's time to sail away, to pack our bags and sail away. Somewhere out there in the sun, the hills are green and a river rolls.
It started incredibly well for paiN, but it seemed like towards the end, Extra Salt had their number. And while with Vince bringing up some statistics earlier on, if anything now, you would say Extra Salt are in the driver's seat, right?
Yeah, both teams secured 11 rounds on their T half when they last played each other about a month and a half ago. It ended 19-17. So if that's anything to go by, this could be boding pretty grim for paiN. But what we could say is, well, they've had a resurgence within the confines of this very tournament, Tom. So I don't know how much you can necessarily look into that, because I think some of these players have really been reaching some peak kind of performance from themselves. So like maybe that bodes well for them to hold down more rounds. I'm not sure what Extra Salt have in store as well. We have seen it yesterday as well that went on their T side, especially on Dust 2. Players like Sonic really came alive, and he's already had a good first half. Marquis as well has had a stellar first half and really brought this one back. PKL though is going to be fended off from a smoke and the flash, and as the lone B defender, now it's his job to just stay alive and wait for the rest of the troops to arrive, and they're pushing right up Banana.
Yeah, the whole squad are about to meet OC, or, well, OC's about to meet the full squad, but they've actually got a couple of players to join him. The flashbangs will leave him blind, but the whole team just waiting, completely slaughter the side of paiN. Odds out, maybe just making the decision. Okay, I've now got a kit and an incendiary. Those could be quite valuable going into the next round. PKL, however, has nothing, so you might as well push in and try and kill someone here.
Yeah, I just wonder if the call was to try and come and bodyguard for Hardjow, to be there to help him out. Maybe alleviate some of the pressure or sacrifice himself to the CS gods, as it were. But yeah, in terms of staying alive, there's not really anything to save. He's just playing for those classic stats, Tom. Doesn't want that 10th death.
Yeah. That's valuable. Don't want to lower your HLTV rating by 0.001 or something like that. Well, I guess it depends how many games you play. But either way, we are still going to have the force buy. Now, we had the stat earlier that whoever wins the pistol round should, in theory, win the second round. So I'm looking at you, Elliot. If this is a force buy victory for paiN, it's your fault. But they don't have a massive amount. Pistols on most of the players, PKL with a scout and a flashbang, and a bit of utility at least. Majority of players with a smoke available to them, so they can at least try and deny. On the other side of things, for a map like Inferno especially, this is actually quite a lot of rifles. A lot of teams will opt to try and get the SMGs in just because of a lot of the close quarters positions. And while it suggests that this is probably going to be more likely an A hit, just to try and avoid the crunch on Banana.
I'm also really curious once we do get to that stage in the game where AWPs are available and could very well be preferable, if Sonic or OC will be picking it up. Because Sonic, for the most part, was the primary AWPer in the first half. And he is an aggressive style AWPer. So I do wonder on the T side if they want to have him more on the rifle where he can have tons of impact. As you said, though, OC's not bad with the rifle himself. Or do they just drop the AWP entirely? Do they maybe make a read that paiN are a little bit susceptible to full-on executes? Nice headshot from JT with a back 10. Bit of money getting printed in, and additionally allows him to wrap around the back now of the CTs and make this site that little bit more uncomfortable. Bigazera off angle will afford him 1 kill, but that's it. Runs out of ammunition on the CZ, and now it's down to Hajao to try and push up. Banana does take down OC, and considering there were 4 rifles in play here, this is already costly for Extra Salt, and it may not be done just yet. Marky's been tagged.
Yeah, Safe has made this very much doable for Hajao. He's had a pretty decent game so far. The Incendiary forces out his first opponent, but he doesn't manage to capitalize, and Marky, playing with absolute confidence in the end, hits the headshot. A little bit uncomfortable for Extra Salt, and I have to say, like I mentioned at the beginning of the round, I would assume that they would go towards the A site, trying to avoid some of those closer angles. They end up walking into a lot of them, and even though they get the site relatively clean, it's more just the fact that the players left behind rotating kind of whiff a little bit. Like that's the main problem there, but they get away with it, I guess. And more importantly now, it's not going to be much invested for paiN, so that they have to try and save up to make sure they can get whatever they desire. Safe will have that AWP into the next round, although it won't have much alongside it. Likely some Kevlar. And depending if he can get a kill here, maybe an extra grenade or 2.
Sonic straight down with 15 kills, 80 ADR. Did have the AWP a lot, though. So I feel like if he had the rifle the entire time, could very well be pushing towards 100 ADR. Safe waiting with the aforementioned Deagle on the hay bales, and the bomb now being picked up and starting to move towards the B side. They also have JT on the wrap. A lot of damage inflicted into Nekis onto Library, who should be finished off momentarily. And if Bigazera has anything but a P2000, maybe he could have mustered up 1 kill, but he gets checked, he gets fragged, and the round is falling into place as we expected. Safe, though, at least got a frag of his own, and he is holding on to an AK, so this would be really solid if he can hold on to it. I'm not sure that Extra Salt will allow him that luxury, though. They got 2 Mac 10s and every reason to push straight in, and the bomb's only been planted just a few moments ago, so there's still a lot of time for him to try and hold on to this rifle.
I think the only saving grace is that his save position is a little bit obscure. Like, you can see them clearing the apartments out because it's one of the most common save spots in the game, and even going in towards the back echelons of that position. Now, they're not far away, but again, the gamble will be that he's probably going to be in pit. It's just going to come down to timing. The free kill on the first and the second as well. That was so clean on the second headshot. I thought for sure that Sonic would get that trade. Well, he gets to keep the AK, or more importantly, drop it over to another teammate. I mentioned as well that he was likely not going to have much with the AWP, but the fact is, if you get an extra 3 kills, that's an extra $900.
Exactly, and that's an extra $6,000 or $7,000 that they have to invest in replenishing some of those AKs that just got spilled out. So that's a really solid hold, all things considered. And now paiN, bringing Sonic down to $150. Mac 10 on Fang. Tagging and fragging Bigazera, who got flashed by Nekis. I think he pushed it a bit prematurely because he was burning alive. So he felt like he had to go in for that peak, and in doing so, he basically just gave himself up for free.
I wonder if they missed their smoke slightly, or if Extra Salt threw a Molotov behind the smoke. Because normally the second slightly deeper smoke is just used to put out that Molotov, and then you can push through it. But he was burning, so that means either it only extinguished half, which is definitely one of the most irritating things that can ever happen, or Extra Salt was prepared for it. Either way, it's gone as bad as it could have done in the early stages. And now we're looking at Safe trying to retake that control. But the rest of the team are elsewhere, and that AWP has lost a battle to the Mac 10.
That's turning pretty grim, isn't it? Marky's out on the balcony. Standout player in the first half. Had some amazing multi-frag moments. Great play from Nekis. Flash into the peak. Fang fully blinded. Oh, he did. He's just drawn off. And in drawing off, he's just given the sight across. There's a CT smoke in there as well. I wonder if paiN just try and save, like, straight away. That potential mistake can now be turned into a save, and Marky was that component that could maybe deny some of the weapons. But with his life being deemed forfeit and them trading up to the AK, they're absolutely going to try and hold on to these now.
Why does Nekis not have armor? I've only just noticed that. That's weird. Considering what they had in this round, that seems a little bit odd, but I guess it's not going to be the clinical factor. Yeah, I think the timing actually works out almost a little bit lucky for Extra Salt, because they rotated in because Fang basically walked in and went, okay, there's no one here. He pushed in solo, and the rest of the team were just around the corner. So Nekkers just peeks in, gets a kill, and then goes, oh, no one else here. It must be A. And the rest of the team come walking through a few seconds later. So paiN a little bit unlucky in this round. They do at least save 3 rifles into the next, and Hardshell can also drop an AWP over to safe. So it's not the worst case scenario for them here. But Extra Salt, as you mentioned, looking good so far on the T side.
Oh, they're looking rock solid. And we're starting to see already, I think, paiN have a couple of issues. Now, the question on my mind has been answered. OC will be taking the AWP, and they will elect to go for
Nekkers still doesn't have armor. Or is that a bug? Is that like... Surely he hasn't done that 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, that would be a massive oversight if he's still not picked up armor. Maybe assume that he had it, and he's just too busy calling shots. I don't know what's going on in that respect. That's definitely a head scratcher. Will it end up costing them though, Tom? If he can get away with this, then it doesn't really matter, I suppose.
You just have to believe that you have armor. That's what it is. If you believe you have it, then you play with the same confidence as you have it, Vince. It's all in the mind. Take the red pill, not the blue pill.
Yeah, it's definitely a mental game, and now there's flashes, smokes, everything being tossed in. It's going the way of the T's thus far, even trades, but now they can start to spill out onto the site. Safe last took a shot round Alcove. He'll be forced out, but Sonic has been tagged out to 7 HP, and he will be also carrying the bomb in alongside Fang, who goes for that full plant. OC takes off the head of Safe, and in doing so, forces paiN back a couple of steps. Now, both bigazera and Nekkers still alive. Nekkers, this is where that lack of armor could become an issue, but he has the AWP, and they do have a kit in the hands of bigazera. Smoke alongside it, and bigazera's making moves through balcony. If he can get this first pick, maybe there's a way back forward, but there's 2 of the 3 players in pit, one of which is in mini pit, and I think bigazera's now decided, without getting a pick straight away, it's not worth. There's not enough time, not enough of an opportunity to make this one land. May as well just pull back and save what you have.
He might be able to kill Sonic, because Sonic had to get away from that bomb just because of how low he was on HP. The other players will be fine. It was a deep plant, so no real damage even taken there. Will Nekkers buy armor this round? I'm just like, I feel like if you don't check and you just don't realize you haven't got it, then eventually you'll just continuously buy, especially if he's going to drop over the AWP and buy up or another rifle. It just depends on their finances. No, he's got it. There we go. He actually managed to survive both rounds without it, though. So, as said, all in the mind. 12-8. More importantly, this is starting to get a little bit out of hand for paiN. They have started so ridiculously strong. And since then, what? 8 rounds in a row? Maybe more. No, I think it's... Is it 10 in a row?
Yeah, I think it's 10. You got the last 5 rounds of the first half, and they've picked up, what, the first 5 of this? So it's last 10 and 11 out of the last 12 rounds. It has been a ridiculous shift around for Extra Salt. From 7-1 to 12-8 in the lead. Molly's being tossed down on quad. Safe is forced back. Flashbang primed for a peek. And actually, there won't be any force behind that from Archers because PKL was smoked off. And Safe eats a flash of his own. So he's already fallen back. And Extra Salt, with just shy of a minute to play with, have full middle control.
The first kill, though, goes the other way. JT dropped. His peek doesn't really tell him too much. PK almost finds a second through the smoke. That's Sonic low. And look how much deep control they have over Banana. I'm almost surprised they haven't tried to rotate a player back. Maybe just reading into the fact that, okay, we've already got a kill. They've damaged another player. Is there really a need to rotate? And still in pretty passive positions as well. No one taking any risks anymore. The fake being sold a little bit by Sonic, but he's going to be dead before he gets anywhere near the top of Banana. And they'll now know this has to be a dedication into the other side of the map.
Yeah, 3 players remaining. Would effectively be a 3-on-3, but there's that 4th player now maneuvering himself in. But Marky and Fang have both got entries. Hotshell locks it down from pit. A 3K. And paiN Gaming can breathe a collective sigh of relief. But the job's certainly far from over.
That was a solid round for them. But again, I feel like it stems from just these early peaks and catching the timings, it was getting a little bit worrying how much control they actually managed to get. And the fact that, considering how much time was left, the fact that they knew the push was coming in, and still there was 2 entries for Extra Salt, I could have easily gone back the other way. Now, they're still going to have a purchase of their own, but this is the economy round. I think Extra Salt know it. If they win this one, paiN are going to have next to nothing to try and fight back with, only the loss bonus that they've had previously. And on the other side, if Extra Salt lose this round, without a bomb plant, they won't have much money at all.
5 flash assists in the first half, 2 more than Extra Salt. I guess that's always the luxury of playing on the T side as well. You can dictate the pace. There's a lot of, especially over on B, I feel like if you throw a flash up and over, chances are you're hitting someone on the B side or in Banana. But it just goes to show that paiN, at least starting off the T side with great utility, and then they did slow down quite a bit. Extra Salt, though, as you highlighted, Tom, they know that paiN Gaming are rocked. They're still a little bit dazed. Can they hit that KO blow? And this would be a big step forward to landing that combination. Now starting to move up Banana. This time, lack of top Banana control from paiN, but they are boosted up. An angle we haven't seen from them just yet, but you have to assume that Extra Salt, they will check this spot.
Yeah, they're using a lot of their utility fairly quick as well. Luckily for them, there is going to be an execution on the top of it. Flash through the smoke, but then they still have the player over the top of it. JT, though, he gets the player boosted and the player running through. And now it leaves just 3 trying to get back in here. Nekis is going to go for the spam through the smoke, but gets absolutely nothing and has to be careful there isn't a response. As the smoke clears safe, well, there's going to be another one. I think that might be the moment they have to decide to exit the round.
Man, JT was getting pummeled in the back, spins around with the MAC-10 and lands 2 headshots instantly. That must have looked absolutely nutty from his perspective. And now paiN Gaming, because of the economy, because of the 4v3, they have to save. Again, their first round on the CT side, and they instantly get bounced back on by Extra Salt. This is very reminiscent to how the first half started as well, Tom, where Extra Salt got minimal success here and there, and then instantly paiN just put them back in the dirt again. But whereas Extra Salt recovered and they picked up a ton of rounds at the end of the first half, we're yet to see paiN really do anything. And that, even in slow motion, that's rapid. He just pops both of their heads off straight away.
Luckily, the 3-player save makes a fairly big difference for paiN. There'll be a purchase once again. And the T's are not in any crazy position just yet. Still probably with enough to buy into the next round, but you get the point. They're not in a spot where they can afford to lose this one too cleanly. Again, we're going to see deep Banana control challenge for Sonic, also tagged. It looks like he's still trying to push in here, battle some of these players on the A side, and it is a gamble rotation already. After the last couple of rounds, maybe expecting that they won't be looking to go back towards this B site so soon, and they can set up that 4-1 strategy, which makes it pretty rough if Banana control isn't reclaimed. Now, if Extra Salt can take away Banana, it will force one player to rotate.
The thing that concerns me as well about this performance over on Inferno, Tom, is when you look at what maps are coming up next, the fact that Train is up next, Mirage, and then Vertigo. Train, I'm not going to say it's a guaranteed win for Extra Salt, but they statistically are far better than paiN Gaming. Mirage is a bit of a coin flip, and then it's Vertigo, where Extra Salt are great as well. I do worry that if they concede this map, paiN, they may be a foot out of the grand finals already.
Oh, safe. Perfectly placed for this piece. Left foot, but what? He's trying to break the whole scoreboard with the amount of things he's just hit through that smoke. It doesn't matter, though. The trades come in thick and fast, leaving 3 players once again to try and retake. Now, the bomb's yet to be planted, and they've got quite a lot of ground fairly quick. But more importantly, they need a kill.
And they need it right now. So much pressure. Can they feasibly justify pulling the plug here and trying to save, knowing they may not get another opportunity like this? They've got kits, they've got some utility. It's not great, but they've got chances. Inroads back in, but if they're going to go for it, it has to be right now. And instead, they'll be flashing their way out to try and save. Arjal picks up the frag, but the timer on the bomb is way too low. And Sonic may get picked off as well. They're doing a good job of at least making this claustrophobic and picking up all the kills, but there shouldn't be enough time for the defuse. And therefore, Extra Salt have done enough. Way too close for comfort. They will be able to buy again. paiN do concede, but at least they take some weapons out of the round.
Yeah, they make things very costly. Of course, the risk was if they lost any of their own players, it could have been painful. That's just ridiculous. Like, if you're Fang, you've got to be so angry. Blind through a smoke, no scope. I think it clipped the wall as well. Like, come on. Come on. You're just having a laugh at this point. Doesn't win them the round, though, as the trades were very good from the remaining players of Extra Salt. Again, the buys continue, but it was a very costly round for Extra Salt. So, again, we sit in a situation where paiN can win this one, then get themselves back in, and Safe looking to try and take this into his own hands. Will drop Sonic, who has been aggressive around apartments for the majority of the rounds on this T side. So, understandable that that's the point they choose to pressure.
Yeah, it made perfect sense. They've reaped the rewards for it. Slight gap in the smoke in middle. OC won't be pondering too much longer, as that will clear momentarily. Not being too deterred either from the initial aggression up in apps. They're now taking it themselves. Fang is moving towards balcony, joined by Marky as well. 4 players over on A, though, for paiN, 2 of which are in fast rotation positions. Nekis now making moves back over on the B site once that smoke clears it. Bigazera just tossed down. But that wide swing from OC gets them right back into this round. That will force that rotation back again, or perhaps not. Nekis is still biting down. This is a potential B hit. Now, if Extra Salt just pushed A, it would be very awkward for PKL and Tahajao to hold on to this, because they're both over on the quad side of the site. They're smoking off. They will be pushing in just a few moments. The timing could be everything. PKL comes out second best. And although Hardshell gets the frag, he's been spotted, funneled back into mini pit, and the T's just stomp him out of the round. It will be a post plant, and once again, paiN Gaming have a decision.
It's getting to the point where they have to truly fight for one of these rounds. They've been hesitant each time. They found kills, but they've retreated. But this could be it. 3 players tagged. The 2 of Healthy on the other side. They don't have any utility, though. A single flashbang. The kit's available to them. JT just holding. Sat back. Half the time gone on the clock already. I think they're just going to back out of this round. It seems too little too late to try and make a push. So hesitant in their move. And now Bigazera goes alone. It looked like Nekis had no intention of pressuring into this round. Sure, an exit kill, sure, a little bit of a stat pad is nice, but at this stage, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, picking up the AWP is definitely a welcome little bonus, but when you're eyeing up 6 map points on your choice in the first map of the best of 5 grand finals, I don't think it's really going to offer too much of a reprieve, to be honest. And that was a round that you look at everything, you're thinking they get the first pick, their paiN, they funneled the T's into an awkward position, and then they over-rotate. They're not quick enough on the re-rotation. They just get punished. And now one more slip-up, Tom, and they're done on Inferno.
Oh, I like the decision. Let's change the game up completely. They're going to get right up in the faces, but it has not worked. It is going to be a trade back for Safe. He's given them a chance at least. Play a split between either site, and actually Fang goes in alone. Maybe expecting no further presence on the B site. This has gone from a winning situation, a map potentially done, to maybe a 2v4.
Still a lot of time on the clock, though. And although Sonic lost about 1/3 of his HP, Marky is full behind him. It's the 2 top fraggers on Extra Salt on the entire server. Safe is one of the other players that has been in amongst the frags. I did expect, but Marky is shimmying round the corner. If he just checks below him, you'll spot him next to the hay bales. If there's any noise made, Safe can just spin around, but he doesn't check the angle, and Marky has him dead to rights. And with Safe's life being deemed forfeit, Bigazera now needs to clutch a 1v2. The molly will stop his path through into apps and additionally quad, which allows them to get in better post-plant positions. The element of surprise will be so much harder for him to attain, and he may have just been spotted by Graveyard. So instead, he will go up into balcony. But this is a bottleneck. It's a claustrophobic angle to come out of, and it's not like he has a pop flash to toss over on the chimney before he pushes in. He's only got a smoke. He needs this first kill right away. He gets it, spins around, and saves paiN just for a little bit longer. Beautiful play from Bigazera.
What's the angle being played by Sonic? That's one of the ballsiest angles I think I've seen in my entire life, and he gets punished for it. I think a bit of a misplay in the crossfire from Extra Salt, maybe not realizing the spot the other player was holding. And I'll be honest, I thought this was done. At multiple stages in this round, we were in a 2v4 at one point. Then it came down to a 1 versus 2, and still they can't close it out. paiN given a lifeline by Biguzera. But still, though, there is going to be a purchase on the other side. It's not fantastic, though. A Mac 10 for JT, although I will say maybe that's been his best weapon so far in this game.
Yeah, that double frag he picked up on CT, well, rushing B definitely was a highlight moment for me. And some players do prefer just that run and gun style. It just frees them up that little bit more. So I'm totally on board with it. But yeah, I mean, watching that back again, obviously I'm trying to focus from Biguzera's perspective, but that was a really odd decision from Sonic because no one was watching the app side. Regardless, though, safe. Oh, okay. The timing. He knew that was a distinct possibility. That's just game sense. That's just repetitions on the server.
Not the start that Extra Salt were looking for, but they have been able to bring back rounds in the past. Fang getting aggressive here. PKL waiting on the edge of the smoke. This is so risky, but he walks through for 2. The flashbang from Hardzao is spot on, and now he comes up with a kill of his own. OC tag low. He's making it costly. He's doing damage. He gets a 3rd kill in a row, somehow making this one look possible, but he will have to go back and retrieve the bomb. 40 seconds left to try and play with this. Peek into the apartments. I think he's got the timing wrong. A nice attempt from OC. A glimmer into what this man can do. But again, it's paiN. 11 rounds now on the board. 4 more needed.
And although OC did an excellent job of bringing the funds down, I don't think that honestly Extra Salt can justify a buy. They're all down at like $2,000. And they still got a 4-round lead. So I would hope they don't force into this. I'm glad they haven't. This effectively is a throwaway round. They've still got time. They've still got rounds as a buffer. But make no mistake, paiN are picking up the confidence now. I said before how important this is to their grand final prospects. The stats of the next few maps do not bode well for paiN, so they have got to get Inferno under their belt as far as I'm concerned. And they'll know the importance of it. Now, this round should be a gimme. You've got Glocks, you've got a P250, and a 2-for-1 for Safe, and a HE with tons of damage behind it. He softens them all up. The MP9 has gone down. The fact they even get 2 kills here, Tom, is pretty outrageous. And OC's still pretty healthy, and he's got the AWP. There's a way forward where OC could feasibly take this round and bare minimum knock paiN's economy back into the dumps.
Was all in from Safe. I feel like that's what it is a lot of the time. It's all or absolutely nothing, and they've got to be careful where they look, especially after the last round. I think they'll be a little bit hesitant, and they'll hear the drop down here. 2 players coming in and a wraparound from short. There's no chance. Good cleanup in the end, but it was just against pistols, as mentioned. 15-12, though. And Extra Salt, the pressure's on. I think they know going into the grand final this time that they're the favorites. They don't want to let things slip after what was such a fantastic turnaround. For anybody who wondered, they've managed to hit 15 after being 8-2 down. And from that point, they had only lost 1 round. But now, it's been 3 in a row.
Yeah, most of those rounds at the start of this half were just so one-sided. They're just walking onto the site, getting frags, bomb plant, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. But now, paiN Gaming... maybe it's a read, maybe it's a tell, maybe it's just some players stepping up to the plate and getting inspired. Whatever the reason, they're creeping their way back into this map. But Extra Salt still have 3 cracks at taking this map and making it theirs. paiN Gaming, down to lack of utility, has to be said. 1 minute and 15 left, and they've only got 1 incendiary left and 3 smokes across the entire team. This could be exploited by Extra Salt, and maybe that's one of the reasons they've slowed down the pace considerably.
Minute gone on the clock, and they're only just starting to probe up banana. Still utility to be had, but not a massive amount. You've got Biguzera with another smoke, which, considering he's on B, could burn quite a lot of the time off the clock. Safe with the other on the other side of the map, but there we go. Just going to try to continue to deny them. There goes the smoke, but here comes the push.
Oh, that aim is spot on from Nekis, but Marky and Fang step up. PKL sprays them both down. A 2-on-2. But this is where the lack of utility comes full circle. They've only got a flash for a retake. And with an AWP in the hands of Safe, that's excellent, but they need to really lean on Hardzao considerably. He needs to go in first. He needs to take some of that fire away and draw the fire away from Safe so that he can try and clutch this one. Otherwise, they're in real trouble. They both have kits. The flashbang being tossed up and over. Now need to spill out into the open. The flash did connect onto OC, but isn't going to thwart his attempts at holding down from coffins. Sonic can hear the footsteps. First player's gone down. Beautiful one-tap. Hodgeout is going to be picked off. An extra salt. Take the first map of the grand finals, and it's paiN's pick of Inferno.